we were studying hurricanes, and one of the things we decided to do as consumers, we use an app called iHurricane, and we give you live feeds and updates, and you could track developing hurricanes. And it's a very cool app, so we see a hurricane here starting to develop to low pressure and then develop into a tropical storm. And there's so much you can do, there are so many things you can do with that app. So they were really into it. We went from there to use some other tools, like edpuzzle, where they watch hurricane videos. I love edpuzzle because you can actually see how many times a student may have watched particular segments. If they didn't understand, it was too technical, they watch it, and then if they were asked an open-ended question, you could tell that that student who was watching the last two segments, which is where the more technical stuff was, they watched it 7 and 8 times. Just went back to it. Wait, what did they say? What was that? And then their open-ended response was right on target. So that's kind of, each individual student has their own strengths, and if you will persevere and just keep going back until you really get it, that's a really good sign. We also, as we looked at some of the hurricane stuff, we would post updates in Google Classroom. So now we're collaborating, communicating. We did utilize some near-pod activities to develop the skills in hurricane tracking and determining hurricane speed. Students still use the old-fashioned maps and had to plot points, latitude and longitude, but we utilized National Hurricane Center's longitude, latitude, distance calculators to help them with some of that. So we incorporated near-pod within the classroom to get a lab on Hurricane Patricia. And that was our back then Hurricane Rita in 2005. We're getting ready to tell a story, do a newscast, so we read a New York Times article on Hurricane Patricia, which we watched develop from its inception because we were paying attention to hurricanes. So it's developed as a current disturbance off the coast of Mexico. And students were like, what do you think is going to happen with that? So we actually watched that over a period of about a week and a half. Once we read that article, we put notes up for other people, like this is what should show up in a newscast about a hurricane, so we were able to collaborate that way.
Good morning, America. This morning on Schmod News, we will be hearing about Hurricane Patricia and what damage she has caused.
Today, we'll be hearing from a very special guest, Dr. John Johnson. Here he is now.
Thank you, Hannah.
This storm may have started as just a small disturbance, but has become much more. This storm went from a Category 1 to a Category 5 in just 28 hours. A small disturbance has turned into a very destructive hurricane.
Patricia hit land at exactly 6:15 p.m. October 23rd.
That dot in the middle of the hurricane is the eye, a relatively calm place. Just outside of it is the Eyewall. The Eyewall is the most dangerous part of the hurricane. El Molino, Zapateo, Mexico, was most affected by Patricia.
This city's population is 12,309, which gave great risk for people to get hurt in this storm.
Since El Molino, Zapateo was right at the Eyewall, staying winds got up to 130 miles per hour, but wind gusts got up to 200 miles per hour.
That's pretty intense.
Thankfully for our technology, very few people were harmed.
This is an example of some technology that we use. This is a picture of a satellite camera that takes pictures from the Earth from above. Thankfully, many people did not get hurt because they had a good evacuation plan. They put tons of people on buses and drove them to safe ground to keep them safe.
When Patricia hit land, the wind was so strong it even affected Texas. Here you can see that a train got derailed from the intense winds. We stole this photo from ABC News. Hurricane Patricia was the most powerful hurricane to hit the Western Hemisphere. The reason why Hurricane Patricia was so strong, it was because the sea surface temperature was over 82 degrees Fahrenheit.
This storm was so strong because of a thing called El Niño. El Niño is a temporary change in the climate of the Pacific Ocean in the region around the equator.
Thank you, and have a great day.
Peace out!
Thanks for watching Schmod News.